In the tapestry of human history, there are certain threads that shimmer with an unexplained brilliance, monuments that stand as enduring questions rather than simple answers. We often traverse our world in haste, our gaze fixed on the immediate, the tangible. But sometimes, a profound stillness calls to us, inviting us to slow our pace, to breathe deeply, and to truly see. This is such a moment. We are about to embark on a journey not just through space, but through millennia, to a place where stone meets sky, and human ingenuity seems to touch the divine. Prepare your mind to gently open, your senses to attune, as we step into the shadow of a timeless wonder, a colossal enigma known as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Its story is not merely one of pharaohs in human hands, but a whisper from antiquity, inviting us to contemplate the unseen, the unspoken, and the truly extraordinary. Imagine, if you will, standing at the very edge of an immense quiet, not the stillness of an empty room, but the profound, echoing silence of an ancient landscape. The sun, a vast, patient orb, hangs suspended in a sky of infinite blue, casting long liquid shadows across an ocean of sand. This is the desert, not as a barren wasteland, but as a vast, breathing entity stretching out seemingly without end to meet the distant, shimmering horizon. Its very silence holds a story, a memory of countless sunrises and sunsets, of winds that have shaped dunes for millennia, and of human endeavors that have risen and fallen like the tides. And there, rooted in this timeless expanse, rising from the heart of this profound quiet, stands a monument of unimaginable scale, the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is not merely a structure. It is a presence, a silent sentinel that has watched over the human story for thousands upon thousands of years. Its colossal mass seems to absorb the very light, to anchor the vastness of the sky. We are accustomed to seeing it in photographs, in films, as a static image, a mere representation. But to truly experience it, to truly begin to comprehend its essence, one must allow the gaze to linger, to absorb the sheer weight of its history, the deliberate placement of each element, the profound stillness that emanates from every stone. The air around the pyramid often carries a certain quality, a palpable sense of immense age. It is not heavy, but rather possesses a lightness, a dryness that has preserved this colossal form against the relentless march of time. As the light shifts throughout the day, it catches the texture of the stone, revealing the subtle variations in its surface, the countless marks of its making. One can almost feel the cool resilience of the limestone under an imagined touch, a material that has endured sun-baked days and star-studded nights for over 4.5 millennia. Each individual block, whether seen from afar or imagined up close, is a silent testament to an incredible journey. From its extraction deep within a quarry, through unknown methods of transport, to its final, perfect resting place within this towering geometric form. They are not merely inert objects. They are storytellers in stone, each holding the memory of its creation. We often think of the Great Pyramid primarily as a tomb for pharaohs, a monumental resting place for the kings of ancient Egypt. And certainly, that is a significant part of its conventional narrative. It is seen as a testament to human endeavor, a colossal undertaking of engineering and organized labor, a symbol of a powerful civilization. But what if there is more to its story? What if, embedded within its colossal stones, within its precise geometry and its subtle alignments, are whispers of something deeper, something that gently pushes the boundaries of our conventional understanding? Let us approach this wonder not with haste, not with the hurried expectation of immediate answers, but with a quiet reverence, with an open mind. Let us allow its secrets to unfold at their own deliberate pace, much like the slow unfolding of a desert dawn. We will journey beyond the purely historical, beyond the purely archaeological, and allow ourselves to explore the intriguing possibilities that have resonated through the ages. This is an invitation to gently question, to quietly speculate, and to marvel at the enduring mystery that lies at the very heart of this incredible structure. The very scale of the pyramid is difficult to grasp intellectually. To stand before it, even in imagination, is to feel a sense of dwarfing. We, as individuals, become almost insignificant against its vastness. It is estimated to contain roughly 2.3 million blocks of stone, weighing a staggering 6 million tons in total. To conceptualize this, one might consider that its weight is equivalent to more than 16 Empire State Buildings, or enough stone to build a wall around the entire country of France, 10 feet high and 1 foot thick. This is not simply a large building. It is a man-made mountain, an edifice that truly redefines the very meaning of architectural ambition. Yet, it is not merely its size that captivates. It is its endurance. For over 4,500 years, it has withstood the relentless forces of nature, the scorching heat of the sun, the erosive power of sand-laden winds, the rare but impactful desert rains, and the subtle tremors of the earth. It has seen empires rise and fall, witnessed countless human dramas unfold at its base, and stood stoically as the world changed around it, sometimes dramatically, sometimes imperceptibly. Its survival, its remarkable preservation, speaks not only to the quality of its construction, but perhaps to a design that inherently understood the long cycles of time and decay. Consider the engineering challenges that must have been overcome. Imagine the sheer logistical complexity of quarrying these millions of tons of stone, often miles away from the construction site. Then, the process of transporting them across varying terrain without the aid of wheeled vehicles in the manner we understand them today. And finally, the monumental task of lifting and precisely placing these immense blocks, layer upon layer, to a height that would remain unsurpassed for thousands of years. Each step of this process, even with the most conventional explanations, speaks to a level of organization, foresight, and collective human effort that is truly astounding. But it is in the details that the deeper questions begin to emerge. The subtle nuances that seem to defy the known technology of the Bronze Age, the astonishing precision of the stone cutting, the near-perfect right angles of the blocks, the incredibly tight seams between them. These are not just functional aspects. They speak of an aesthetic, a dedication to perfection that goes beyond mere utility. It suggests a profound understanding of geometry, of material properties, and of craftsmanship that seems, at first glance, out of place in such an ancient era. This is why the Great Pyramid of Giza invites us to look beyond the obvious, beyond the familiar narratives we have been told. It encourages us to explore the edges of possibility, to consider that ancient peoples might have possessed knowledge, techniques, or even insights that have been forgotten or lost to the passage of history. It is a structure that sparks the imagination, not for the sake of fanciful notions, but because its very existence presents a puzzle that continues to resist a complete and satisfying solution. As we embark on this quiet journey into the mysteries of the pyramid, let us shed any preconceptions. Let us approach it with a sense of curiosity and wonder, allowing the gentle whispers of the stones to guide us. We are not seeking dramatic revelations, but a deeper appreciation for the layers of complexity, the subtle brilliance, and the enduring questions that the Great Pyramid so elegantly poses. It is a dialogue between the past and the present, a silent conversation between enduring stone and inquiring minds. This monument is not just history. It is a living question, inviting us to contemplate the extraordinary nature of ancient achievement and the possibility that some truths still remain hidden, patiently waiting to be rediscovered within its timeless embrace. To truly appreciate the profound ingenuity embedded within the Great Pyramid, one must look beyond its sheer bulk and delve into the more subtle, yet equally astonishing, aspects of its design. Let us turn our attention, then, to its very foundation, to the way it quietly, meticulously anchors itself to the vast, swirling tapestry of the cosmos above. This is where the whispers of ancient knowledge become a little clearer, speaking of a civilization deeply attuned to the rhythms of the heavens. The most immediately striking aspect, when considering its relationship to the sky, is the pyramid's alignment with the cardinal directions. True north, true south, true east, and true west. This is not a rough approximation, not a casual orientation. The four sides of the Great Pyramid are aligned with an astonishing, almost uncanny precision. The deviation from true north, for example, is incredibly slight, often measured as less than 1/15 of a degree. To put this into perspective, imagine drawing a perfectly straight line over a vast distance. Even the slightest tremor of the hand would introduce more error than is found in this colossal structure. This isn't simply a coincidence of placement. It speaks to a deliberate, methodical, and deeply sophisticated understanding of the Earth and its relationship to the celestial sphere. One begins to wonder, how was such precision achieved in an era without modern surveying equipment, without the advanced optics we take for granted today? The conventional explanations often point to the use of astronomical observations. Imagine the ancient Egyptian astronomers, or perhaps architect priests, dedicating countless nights to charting the subtle, imperceptible shift of the stars. They might have used the transit of circumpolar stars, those stars that never set below the horizon, to determine true north. By observing a star at its highest and lowest points in the sky, a plumb line could have been used to mark a precise north-south axis. Another method could have involved the precise observation of sunrise and sunset on the equinoxes, marking the east-west line. However, the level of accuracy achieved far surpasses what one might expect from these methods alone, suggesting a profound mastery of observation, calculation, and practical application. This meticulous alignment is more than just a feat of engineering. It suggests a cosmological worldview that deeply integrated the earthly and the celestial. For the ancient Egyptians, the heavens were not merely distant lights. They were the dwelling place of the gods, a mirror of divine order, and a guide for life on earth, both temporal and eternal. To orient their most significant monument with such reverence to the cosmos implies a purpose far grander than simply marking a king's burial place. It suggests that the pyramid itself was intended to be a terrestrial anchor for celestial energies, a point of connection between the human realm and the divine. Beyond the cardinal points, the celestial connections deepen as one explores the internal architecture of the pyramid. The narrow shafts, leading from both the king's and queen's chambers, have long fascinated researchers. These are not merely ventilation shafts, as some early interpretations suggested, but seem to have possessed a more profound, symbolic, and astronomical function. They are meticulously aimed toward specific stars and constellations, specifically those that held immense religious and mythological significance for the ancient Egyptians at the time of the pyramid's construction. Consider the southern shaft of the king's chamber. At the time the pyramid was built, this shaft would have pointed directly to the Orion constellation, specifically to the stars of Orion's belt. For the Egyptians, Orion was intimately associated with Osiris, a god of the afterlife, resurrection, and the fertile inundation of the Nile. Osiris was a central figure in their mythology, symbolizing eternal life and the cyclical nature of existence. To have the king's chamber, believed by many to be the ultimate resting place or transformative space for the pharaoh, aligned with the celestial manifestation of Osiris, speaks volumes about the pyramid's intended purpose. It suggests a profound ritualistic connection, an alignment of the deceased pharaoh's spirit with the divine pathway to the afterlife, ensuring his rebirth among the stars. The pharaoh was not merely buried. He was intended to ascend, to merge with the celestial essence of Osiris. Similarly, the northern shaft of the king's chamber is believed to have aligned with Thuban, also known as Alpha Draconis, which was the North Star during the Old Kingdom period. The North Star, unlike other stars, remains relatively fixed in the night sky, acting as a celestial pivot around which all other stars appear to rotate. For the Egyptians, this fixed point in the northern sky was associated with the imperishable stars, the realm of the eternal, where the pharaoh's spirit could find its permanent, unwavering abode after death. The symbolism is clear: stability, eternity, and an unwavering connection to the unchanging divine order. The pharaoh, through this alignment, was meant to achieve immortality, to become one of the imperishable stars. These precise astronomical alignments, both external and internal, weave an intricate tapestry of meaning. They suggest that the pyramid was not merely a structure, but a sacred instrument, a giant terrestrial observatory, calibrated to the subtle movements and significant positions of the heavens. It was a bridge between the physical and the metaphysical, designed to facilitate a spiritual journey, a transformation from mortal king to deified being among the stars. The very stones, carefully placed and oriented, became conduits for cosmic energy, channels for the pharaoh's soul to navigate the celestial pathways. The dedication required to achieve such precision is truly awe-inspiring. Imagine the long nights spent under the desert sky, the patient tracking of stars, the meticulous recording of observations over decades, perhaps even generations. This was not a hurried endeavor. It was a deeply contemplative and highly skilled undertaking. It speaks to a society that valued cosmic knowledge, that saw the universe as an ordered and sacred place, and that believed in the profound interconnectedness of all things. The architects and builders of the pyramid were not just master masons. They were likely astronomer priests, deeply versed in both the earthly sciences of construction and the celestial wisdom of the cosmos. The methods used for these alignments are themselves a subject of quiet fascination. Beyond simple plumb lines and stellar observations, some theories suggest the use of water leveling techniques across the vast base of the pyramid to achieve its incredibly flat and level foundation, a prerequisite for such precise alignments. By creating a shallow basin and allowing water to settle, the ancient builders could have established a perfectly horizontal plane, which could then be used as a reference point for all subsequent measurements and alignments. The sheer scale and precision of the pyramid's base, which varies by only a few centimeters across its entire 230-meter length, strongly support the idea of advanced leveling techniques. This level of foundational precision is critical. Any error in the base would be magnified as the pyramid rose, leading to visible distortions in its upper levels. Yet the pyramid maintains its consistent angles and precise orientation all the way to its apex, which, though now missing its capstone, would have pointed directly towards the celestial pole. This indicates that the initial alignment was not only accurate, but that this accuracy was meticulously maintained throughout every stage of its construction, a continuous verification process that speaks to a sustained level of organizational and technical excellence. The very concept of true north, as opposed to magnetic north, indicates an understanding of magnetism and the Earth's magnetic field that we might not readily attribute to this ancient period. While it is generally accepted that the Egyptians used astronomical means to find true north, the distinction itself highlights a sophisticated grasp of fundamental geographical and astronomical principles. They were not simply pointing a structure in a general direction. They were precisely calibrating it to the Earth's rotational axis. These astronomical alignments are not mere decorative flourishes. They are fundamental to the pyramid's identity. They embed it within a larger cosmic narrative, transforming it from a mere burial structure into a complex, multi-layered symbol. The pyramid becomes a terrestrial representation of the heavens, a physical manifestation of Egyptian cosmology. It is a place where the pharaoh could not only rest, but could also transcend, becoming part of the divine celestial order that governed the universe. The meticulousness extended beyond the pyramid's own orientation to its relationship with the surrounding structures on the Giza plateau. The three large pyramids are not randomly placed. Their positions are thought by some to correlate with the stars of Orion's belt, as they appeared in the sky around 10,500 BCE. An intriguing hypothesis that pushes the timeline of Egyptian astronomical knowledge far beyond conventional understanding. While this Orion correlation theory remains highly debated within mainstream archaeology, it speaks to the enduring human fascination with finding deeper patterns and cosmic connections in these ancient monuments. It challenges us to consider if the knowledge embedded in these structures predates what we currently understand about their construction. Even if not entirely proven, the very act of considering such theories opens our minds to the vast possibilities of ancient wisdom. The deliberate choice of location for the Giza Plateau itself might also be linked to astronomical considerations. The plateau offered a clear, unobstructed view of the night sky, far from the light pollution of settlements, ideal for precise stellar observations. Its geological stability provided a firm foundation for such massive structures, ensuring their longevity and preserving their exact alignments through millennia. This foresight, this choosing of a site that naturally complemented their astronomical ambitions, again points to a level of planning and understanding that is truly remarkable. In a world before artificial light illuminated the night, the stars held a much more profound presence in human consciousness. They were not distant pinpricks of light, but living, breathing entities, guiding narratives, marking seasons, and dictating destinies. For the ancient Egyptians, this celestial canvas was their map, their calendar, and their spiritual guide. The Great Pyramid, in its perfect alignment, served as a monumental compass, a silent, unmoving finger pointing to the eternal dance of the cosmos. It stands as a timeless testament to a civilization that looked up at the stars, not with fear, but with a deep understanding and a profound desire to embody their divine order on earth. It is a whisper from the past, reminding us that knowledge can take many forms, and that some of the greatest truths are found not in loud pronouncements, but in the quiet, precise orientation of stone towards the infinite. Having contemplated the pyramid's profound connection to the cosmos, let us now turn our attention to the very fabric of its being, the stones themselves. These are not merely inert objects stacked one upon another. They are the silent witnesses to an extraordinary feat of engineering and craftsmanship, holding within their very substance a paradox that continues to challenge our understanding of ancient capabilities. The Great Pyramid of Giza is comprised of an estimated 2.3 million blocks of stone. The sheer volume is difficult to fathom. Imagine a mountain, meticulously carved and assembled by human hands. The vast majority of these blocks, forming the pyramid's core, are made of limestone, quarried from the Giza Plateau itself or nearby areas. This local limestone, while sturdy, is relatively soft compared to other materials found within the structure. It allowed for easier cutting and shaping, though still demanding immense effort. But it is when we consider the other materials, particularly the granite, that the quiet marvel deepens. The king's chamber, for instance, a space deep within the pyramid, is constructed entirely of massive red granite blocks. This granite was not local. It was transported from quarries in Aswan, located over 500 miles south of Giza, along the Nile River. Imagine the logistical challenge: quarrying stone of immense hardness, then moving individual blocks weighing tens of tons across hundreds of miles of ancient landscape without the aid of wheeled vehicles as we know them, and then finally lifting them to their precise positions within the towering structure. Some of these granite blocks, particularly the ceiling beams within the king's chamber, are estimated to weigh between 50 and 80 tons. To put this into perspective, 80 tons is roughly the weight of an empty Boeing 737 airplane, or approximately 10 to 13 adult elephants. How were such gargantuan pieces of stone extracted from the earth, shaped, moved, and lifted to such heights with the tools and technology attributed to the Bronze Age Egyptians? This question, more than any other, sparks the imagination and fuels countless debates. The conventional explanation involves a monumental effort of human labor, utilizing copper chisels for softer limestone, diorite balls for pounding out granite, and a system of sledges, ropes, and ramps for transport and placement. For the softer limestone, teams of workers would have used copper chisels and wooden mallets to cut and shape the blocks. For the much harder granite, the process would have been far more arduous. Diorite, a very hard igneous rock, was shaped into hammer-like tools and used to pound grooves into the granite, eventually allowing it to be split. Water may have been used to soften the stone or aid in cutting. While these methods are plausible for smaller blocks, the sheer scale and hardness of the 80-ton granite pieces introduce a significant challenge to this explanation. The time, effort, and wear on tools would have been immense. Yet, it is not merely the weight and distance that truly astound. It is the precision with which these immense stones are cut and fitted. Walk, in your mind's eye, along the courses of stone, particularly in the lower levels or within the king's chamber. The joints between these colossal blocks are incredibly fine. Often, one could scarcely insert a razor blade or even a piece of paper into the seam. This level of tightness, achieving a near-perfect fit between unevenly shaped stones, on a scale of millions of blocks, speaks of a craftsmanship that transcends mere practical necessity. It borders on the sublime. Think about the implications of this precision. Each block, once cut, had to be moved and then placed with exquisite care. There would have been little room for error. A slight miscalculation, A small misalignment, and a block weighing many tons, would have required an immense effort to correct, if correction was even possible without damaging the stone. This suggests not only highly skilled masons, but also an incredibly accurate system of measurement, perhaps even a form of pre-planning or templating that allowed for such flawless articulation of individual pieces within the larger whole. How was such accuracy achieved with the tools known to have been available in the Bronze Age? Copper, while useful, is a relatively soft metal. It dulls quickly against hard stone like granite, while abrasives like sand mixed with water could have been used for cutting and polishing. The sheer volume of precise work seems to defy the limitations of these tools. This quiet paradox lies at the heart of the pyramid's enduring mystery. It gently pushes us to consider if there might have been other methods, other forms of knowledge that have been lost to the sands of time. Some theorists, quietly challenging the conventional view, propose that the ancient Egyptians might have possessed forms of lost ancient technology. This doesn't necessarily imply complex machinery akin to our modern world, but rather a sophisticated understanding of principles that are no longer common knowledge. Perhaps they understood the resonant frequencies of stone, allowing them to precisely cut or even levitate blocks using sound. Or perhaps they had chemical compounds that could soften stone temporarily, making it easier to work. These ideas, while speculative, arise from the profound difficulty in reconciling the observed precision with the known technological limitations. The very existence of these perfectly fitted, colossal stones encourages such contemplation. Consider, too, the absence of tool marks on many of the granite surfaces, especially those within the king's chamber. If the granite was pounded and abraded into shape, one would expect to see discernible marks of this arduous process. Yet many surfaces appear remarkably smooth, almost polished, further deepening the enigma of their fabrication. This suggests either incredibly meticulous finishing techniques or methods of cutting that left virtually no trace. The consistent angles of the pyramid's faces, rising at approximately 51.8 degrees, also speaks to an extraordinary mastery of geometry and trigonometry, even if these sciences were not formalized in the same way they are today. Think of the internal passages and chambers as well. The ascending and descending passages, the grand gallery, the king's and queen's chambers, these are not simply hollow spaces. They are meticulously carved and shaped, often from the same massive blocks. The walls of the grand gallery, for instance, are composed of precisely corbelled blocks that angle inwards, creating a high, vaulted ceiling. The precision required to ensure these blocks interlocked perfectly, maintaining their angle and stability under immense pressure, is a testament to an advanced understanding of structural mechanics. The grand gallery itself is a marvel of its own. Its sheer length, over 47 meters, and its towering height, over 8.5 meters, create a sense of awe. The ramp-like slots along its sides have been a particular source of quiet debate. Were they part of a complex system for moving the massive sarcophagus up to the king's chamber, perhaps involving counterweights? Or were they integral to the final ceiling of the pyramid, allowing massive granite plug blocks to slide down and permanently block the passages, protecting the sacred space within? The ingenuity implied by either theory points to a sophisticated mechanical understanding. Even the sarcophagus within the king's chamber holds its own quiet mystery. Carved from a single block of dark granite, it is too large to have been brought through the narrow passages of the pyramid after construction. This implies it must have been placed within the chamber during the pyramid's construction, even before the chamber was fully enclosed. Its presence within a space made entirely of granite, and its unusual emptiness further deepened the questions about its true purpose. Was it truly meant to hold a body, or was it a symbolic vessel, a crucible for a spiritual transformation? The enduring silence of these stones, their inability to speak directly, forces us to rely on observation and thoughtful deduction. We are presented with a series of quiet paradoxes, immense size coupled with microscopic precision, seemingly simple tools yielding complex results. A civilization with limited technology achieving feats that challenge modern engineering. This is why the Great Pyramid continues to captivate. It does not readily give up its secrets. It stands as a testament to both known human ingenuity and the tantalizing possibility of lost knowledge. Each joint, each perfectly aligned surface, each colossal block, whispers of a level of skill and understanding that reaches beyond our current narratives. It suggests that the ancient Egyptians were not just builders. They were masters of material science, applied geometry, and a form of engineering that transcended the immediately obvious. The very stones, cool and silent, hold the imprint of an ancient wisdom, patiently waiting for us to truly hear their whisper. They invite us to look beyond the immediate answer, to consider the nuances, and to embrace the quiet, enduring mystery that lies embedded within their polished surfaces and tightly fitted seams. The pyramid, in its silent grandeur, reminds us that the past holds secrets yet to be fully uncovered, challenging us to expand our understanding of human capability across the vast expanse of time. Having marveled at the external grandeur and the astonishing precision of the pyramid, construction and celestial alignment, let us now journey inward to the quiet, concealed heart of this colossal monument. Within its immense stone mass lie a series of chambers and passages, each resonating with its own profound silence, its own set of unanswered questions. These internal spaces are not mere voids. They are meticulously crafted environments, imbued with purpose and mystery, defying simple categorization as mere burial places. Our descent begins, conceptually, from the pyramid's original entrance, located on its northern face, now somewhat altered by time and historical exploration. Imagine entering a narrow, downward-sloping passage, cool and dark, the weight of millions of tons of stone pressing gently from above. This descending passage leads deep into the bedrock beneath the pyramid, a journey into the earth itself. It is here that we encounter the subterranean chamber, an unfinished, rough-hewn room deep below the pyramid's base. Its raw, unpolished nature stands in stark contrast to the refined craftsmanship seen elsewhere. Its purpose remains a puzzle. Was it an abandoned burial chamber, an exploratory dig, or did it hold a symbolic significance related to the underworld or the raw, primordial chaos from which creation emerged? Its very incompleteness lends it a unique, haunting quality, a glimpse into a process that was perhaps altered or abandoned for a greater, evolving design. Ascending, then, from a point within the descending passage, we encounter the ascending passage, a tight, upward-sloping corridor that seems to lead towards the very core of the pyramid. This passage, originally concealed, required great ingenuity to navigate and secure. It is a journey upwards, perhaps symbolic of the pharaoh's ascent towards the heavens. This passage, too, is a testament to the meticulous planning of the pyramid's architects, its precise angle maintained over a considerable length, a testament to their unwavering control over the colossal stone. The ascending passage ultimately opens into a grander, more breathtaking space, the Grand Gallery. This is perhaps the most awe-inspiring internal feature of the pyramid, a soaring, corbelled passageway that stretches for over 47 meters and rises to a height of 8.5 meters. The walls are composed of precisely cut, polished limestone blocks, each layer projecting slightly inward as it rises, creating a magnificent vaulted ceiling. The precision of this corbelling, where each stone must bear the immense weight of the layers above it while maintaining its delicate angle, speaks to an advanced understanding of architectural engineering. It is not merely a hallway. It is a monumental work of art and a triumph of structural design. As one contemplates the Grand Gallery, its primary purpose immediately comes to mind: to provide access to the chambers higher within the pyramid. Yet, its sheer scale and the peculiar features along its sides suggest a more complex function. Along the base of the Grand Gallery, on either side, are a series of ramps or slots. These features have been a source of quiet debate for centuries. Some theories propose that these slots held immense wooden beams or rollers, part of a sophisticated counterweight system used to hoist the massive granite blocks, including the sarcophagus, up to the king's chamber. Imagine the colossal effort, the precise coordination, the ingenious mechanics required to move such weights through this confined space. The whisper of this possibility transforms the Grand Gallery from a simple passage into a profound example of ancient mechanical ingenuity, a silent witness to a method of movement that remains elusive to our full comprehension. Other interpretations suggest a different, equally intriguing purpose for these slots. They might have been integral to the final ceiling of the pyramid. Perhaps they allowed massive granite plug blocks, designed to permanently seal the ascending passage, to be slid down into place after the pharaoh's entombment. The sheer weight and interlocking nature of these hypothetical plugs would have rendered the pyramid virtually impenetrable, protecting its secrets and its sacred contents for eternity. This speaks to a strategic and almost ritualistic final act of construction, ensuring the sanctity of the interior realm. The Grand Gallery, therefore, could have served a dual purpose: a pathway during construction and a key component in the pyramid as ultimate closure. Beyond the Grand Gallery lies the antechamber, a smaller, low-ceilinged room that serves as a transition space before reaching the climax of the internal journey, the king's chamber. This chamber is a space of profound significance, both structurally and symbolically. It is constructed entirely of massive, highly polished red granite blocks, giving it an austere, solemn grandeur. The air within it feels ancient, thick with the weight of millennia. Within the king's chamber, centrally placed, lies a large, empty granite sarcophagus. It is carved from a single immense block of dark red granite, and its interior is smooth, its edges sharp. Its presence and its enigmatic emptiness are central to the pyramid's mystery. It is too large to have been brought into the chamber through the narrow passages once the chamber was complete. This implies that the sarcophagus must have been placed within the chamber during the pyramid's construction, even before the granite walls and ceiling were fully enclosed. This logistical detail adds another layer to the enigma. Why such an effort for an empty vessel? The emptiness of the sarcophagus has sparked countless contemplations. Was it plundered in antiquity, its contents removed long ago? Or was it never intended to hold a physical body in the conventional sense? Some theories suggest it was a symbolic vessel, a crucible for the spiritual transformation of the pharaoh, a place for his soul to transcend earthly existence and ascend to the stars. Its very presence, therefore, might have been more ritualistic than funerary. The granite, A stone associated with eternity and divine power would have imbued the sarcophagus with immense symbolic weight, regardless of its contents. Above the king's chamber, hidden from direct view, are 5 meticulously constructed relieving chambers. These are relatively low-ceilinged spaces, stacked one above the other, separated by massive granite slabs. Their purpose is purely structural, to distribute the immense weight of the millions of tons of masonry above the king's chamber, preventing the ceiling from collapsing under the colossal pressure. This demonstrates an advanced understanding of architectural engineering, a foresight that anticipated the immense stresses and strains within such a massive structure. The very existence of these hidden chambers, designed with such specific purpose, speaks to the profound skill and planning of the pyramid builders, a testament to their mastery of both macro and microstructural integrity. Now, let us turn our attention to the Queen's Chamber, located roughly midway within the pyramid, accessible via a horizontal passage that branches off from the lower end of the Grand Gallery. Despite its modern designation, based on early European interpretations, it is widely believed that this chamber was not intended for a queen. Its true purpose remains elusive, adding another layer to the pyramid's internal enigma. The Queen's Chamber is less elaborately finished than the King's Chamber, constructed primarily of limestone rather than granite. It features a unique, tall, and narrow niche in its eastern wall, often referred to as a grotto. The purpose of this niche is unknown. Was it meant to hold a cult statue, a funerary offering, or a symbolic object? Its precise dimensions and placement within the chamber suggest a deliberate design, though its function is now lost to time. From the northern and southern walls of the Queen's Chamber extend 2 narrow shafts, similar in appearance to those found in the King's Chamber. These shafts, however, are smaller and for millennia were blocked by the solid masonry of the pyramid, not opening to the exterior. This presented a particular conundrum. If they were not for ventilation or external alignment, what was their purpose? This question led to some of the most intriguing modern explorations of the pyramid. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, a series of robotic explorations, beginning with the Aput-E project and later continuing with the Jetty project, were undertaken to explore these mysterious shafts. These small, remote-controlled robots, equipped with cameras and other instruments, were sent into the narrow, dark confines of the shafts. The discoveries were quiet, yet profound. The robots revealed that both shafts in the Queen's Chamber led not to the exterior, but to small, tantalizing doors or limestone blocks with copper handles, embedded deep within the masonry. The first door, discovered in the northern shaft, presented a smooth, finely worked surface with 2 enigmatic copper handles. This discovery sparked immense excitement and speculation. What lay beyond this small sealed threshold? The robotic explorations later drilled a tiny hole through this door, revealing a small, empty cavity behind it. And then, tantalizingly, another, larger, rough-hewn blocking stone deeper within the shaft. A similar door was found in the southern shaft, also with copper handles, adding to the mystery. These doors, or blocking stones, are a crucial element of the pyramid's internal enigma. They hint at further hidden passages, undiscovered chambers, or symbolic thresholds within the colossal structure. Their purpose is debated. Are they genuine doors to something profound, or merely elaborate blocking mechanisms designed to protect sacred spaces or perhaps to symbolically represent a final boundary? The presence of the copper handles, suggesting they could be opened, adds to their allure. These shafts and their mysterious doors are a powerful testament to the layers of secrecy and hidden meaning embedded within the pyramid's design. The internal passages and chambers of the Great Pyramid, therefore, are not simply functional spaces. They are an intricate labyrinth of design and intention, speaking a complex language of engineering, symbolism, and hidden purpose. The precise dimensions, the choice of materials, the alignment of shafts, and the enigmatic blocking stones all contribute to a sense of profound mystery. They suggest a deliberate orchestration of space, not merely for burial, but perhaps for transformation, for sacred ritual, or for the preservation of knowledge. The very act of navigating these internal spaces, even in imagination, evokes a sense of journey, of initiation. From the downward passage into the earth to the ascending path towards the central chambers, the pyramid guides us through a carefully designed sequence. The transition from the rough-hewn subterranean chamber to the refined granite of the king's chamber is a profound shift, perhaps symbolizing a spiritual ascent from the earthly realm to the divine. The enduring questions posed by these internal spaces are a testament to the pyramid's ingenious design. Why the precise angles of the passages? What was the true function of the grand gallery's ramps? What secrets do the queen's chamber shafts truly guard? These are not questions that yield easy answers. Instead, they invite a slow, contemplative unraveling, encouraging us to consider possibilities that extend beyond the conventional, to listen for the subtle echoes of ancient intentions within the monumental silence of the stone. The Great Pyramid, in its internal design, continues to hold its secrets close, revealing only tantalizing glimpses of a profound architectural and spiritual vision. Having patiently explored the Great Pyramid's external alignments and its intricate internal chambers, we arrive at a point of profound contemplation. We have witnessed the astonishing precision, the monumental scale, and the subtle, yet powerful, connections to the cosmos. And yet, the pyramid continues to hold a deep, resonant silence, a collection of unanswered questions that gently push the boundaries of what we conventionally understand about ancient capabilities. It is here, beyond the tangible evidence and the accepted narratives, that we allow ourselves to consider the unseen, to respectfully explore theories that stretch the fabric of our current historical understanding. The conventional archaeological narrative, while providing a solid framework for understanding the pyramid's construction, often struggles to fully reconcile certain aspects with the known tools and societal structures of the Bronze Age. The sheer accuracy of the stone cutting, the flawless fitting of multi-ton blocks, the precise astronomical alignments maintained over vast dimensions, these are feats that even with modern technology would be challenging, requiring immense resources and advanced engineering. This quiet disparity is what fuels the enduring fascination and gives rise to questions that invite us to look beyond the obvious. One of the most compelling alternative contemplations centers on the concept of lost ancient technology. This idea does not necessarily conjure images of futuristic machinery or advanced robotics, but rather suggests that the ancient Egyptians, or perhaps an earlier, precursor civilization, possessed forms of knowledge, techniques, or even sciences that have simply faded from our collective memory. Imagine a subtle understanding of physics or chemistry that allowed them to manipulate materials in ways we no longer grasp. For instance, consider the process of working with granite. This incredibly hard igneous rock is notoriously difficult to cut and shape. While the use of dolerite pounders and abrasive sands is the accepted method, achieving the incredibly smooth surfaces and razor-thin joints found in the king's chamber, using only these tools, presents a quiet conundrum. Could there have been a technique involving sound frequencies? Some theories propose that ancient civilizations might have understood how specific vibrations could reduce the molecular cohesion of stone, making it softer and easier to cut or even lift. While purely speculative, the idea resonates with esoteric traditions and challenges our assumptions about the limits of ancient scientific understanding. Or perhaps they possessed knowledge of specific chemical compounds that could temporarily soften the stone, allowing for precise shaping before it rehardened. The Roman technique of opus cementitium demonstrates that ancient peoples had a remarkable understanding of material science, often developing unique formulas that remain mysteries today. Could the Egyptians have had similar, albeit different, alchemical secrets related to stone? The enduring quality and specific properties of the pyramid as materials might hold clues that are yet to be fully deciphered. The sheer scale of the quarrying and transportation also leads to quiet speculation about lost methods. Moving blocks weighing tens, even 80 tons, over hundreds of miles of uneven terrain, and then lifting them to heights previously unimaginable, requires a system far more efficient and perhaps less labor-intensive than simply rolling them on logs or dragging them on sledges, though these methods were undoubtedly employed for many smaller blocks. Could there have been an understanding of leveraging forces or counterweight systems that went far beyond what is currently reconstructed? Perhaps a complex network of waterways, canals, and locks that allowed for floating colossal stones, much closer to the construction site, or even within the rising structure itself, utilizing the power of the Nile in a way we haven't fully envisioned. The absence of detailed written records describing the exact construction methods for the Great Pyramid is itself a silent question. While we have papyri detailing other aspects of Egyptian life, a comprehensive blueprint or detailed manual for the pyramid's construction has never been found. This absence contributes to the mystery, allowing space for the contemplation that perhaps some knowledge was not meant to be widely disseminated, or was transmitted through oral tradition, now lost, or simply that the true complexity was beyond the scope of everyday record-keeping. Then there is the more profound, and perhaps more controversial, contemplation of outside influence, often interpreted as extraterrestrial theories. While firmly rooted in speculation and largely dismissed by mainstream science, these ideas arise from the sheer magnitude of the pyramid's perceived paradoxes. Adherents to these theories point to the almost impossible precision, the intricate astronomical alignments that seem to defy human capabilities of the time, and the overall otherworldly feel of the structure as evidence that human civilization, in its nascent Bronze Age form, simply did not possess the inherent capacity for such an achievement without external aid. This perspective is not about discrediting the ancient Egyptians' ingenuity, but rather about questioning the origin of certain knowledge or advanced techniques. Could a more advanced civilization from elsewhere in the cosmos have provided blueprints, guidance, or even direct assistance? The arguments often cite the knowledge jump that seems to appear in ancient Egypt, with advanced mathematics, astronomy, and engineering seemingly emerging with remarkable sophistication. These theories encourage a broadening of our perspective, a gentle consideration that the human story might be more intricately linked to a larger cosmic narrative than we currently acknowledge. While unsupported by concrete evidence, the sheer scale of the pyramid's challenge keeps these possibilities alive in the human imagination. Beyond the purely technological, there are philosophical and esoteric interpretations that view the pyramid not just as a physical structure, but as a device for consciousness, a monument designed to influence spiritual states or to serve as a repository of knowledge. Some propose that the precise internal dimensions and specific materials create unique energy fields, resonant frequencies, or acoustic properties that were understood and utilized by the ancient Egyptians for spiritual purposes. The empty sarcophagus, in this view, becomes not a burial container, but a chamber for initiation, a space designed for transformation or communion with higher realms of consciousness. The concept of the pyramid as a power plant or a machine for generating some form of energy is another fascinating, though highly speculative theory. While not referring to electricity as we know it, this idea suggests that the pyramid's unique geometry, its material composition, and its alignment with telluric currents or cosmic energies could have enabled it to harness or transmit an unknown form of energy. Such theories often draw parallels with ancient knowledge of sacred geometry and ley lines, suggesting a subtle, interconnected energy grid on Earth that ancient civilizations understood and utilized. This is a quiet suggestion that the pyramid might have been more dynamic, more functional in an unseen way than we typically imagine. Ultimately, the Great Pyramid of Giza remains a monumental riddle. It stands as an enduring testament to the profound ingenuity and organizational capabilities of the ancient Egyptians, pushing the limits of what we consider possible for a Bronze Age civilization. Yet, it simultaneously continues to pose questions that resist simple answers, inviting a quiet, contemplative exploration of possibilities that stretch beyond our immediate grasp. It does not shout its secrets. It whispers them. It encourages a slow, meditative exploration, a willingness to consider that the story of its creation might be far more nuanced, far more intriguing than the textbooks typically describe. It is a structure that invites us to pause, to breathe, and to gently expand our understanding of what might have been. The lingering mysteries are not failures of understanding, but invitations to deeper inquiry, to the recognition that the past holds layers of complexity that are still patiently waiting to be uncovered. The pyramid stands as a timeless invitation to look closer, to listen more intently, and to gently push the boundaries of what we believe is possible, both for ancient civilizations and for the mysteries that still reside within the very stones of our planet. Its stillness, its silence, is perhaps its greatest lesson, that some of the deepest truths are revealed not through clamor and definitive statements, but through quiet contemplation, through an open mind, and through the persistent pursuit of the unseen echoes within the grand, silent architecture of time itself. The Great Pyramid, in its enduring mystery, continues to stand, a silent, majestic challenge to our perceptions, forever hinting at something more, something profoundly significant, just beyond the veil. And so, our gentle journey through the heart of the Great Pyramid of Giza comes to its contemplative close. We have walked its imagined passages, touched its ancient stones, and gazed upon its celestial alignments. We have allowed ourselves to consider not just what is known, but what might be possible, what might lie veiled beneath layers of sand and time. The pyramid stands, as it always has, not as a solved puzzle, but as a perpetual invitation. It reminds us that history is not a static collection of facts, but a living narrative, continually shaped by new questions and deeper insights. It teaches us the profound beauty of precision, the enduring power of human endeavor, and the humbling possibility that ancient civilizations held wisdom and capabilities we are only just beginning to rediscover. In its quiet, majestic presence, the Great Pyramid of Giza continues to whisper its secrets, not to be definitively revealed, but to be endlessly contemplated. It encourages us to cultivate a sense of wonder, to embrace the magnificent unknown, and to recognize that some of the grandest truths reside in the very questions they inspire. Let us carry this sense of quiet awe, this open curiosity, forward as we continue to explore the many wonders of our world, visible and unseen.